Greetings, everyone. Welcome to our workshop on energy, vitality, and body discomfort. So, because this is going to be shared in the group and it could be shared anywhere else, I will try to be extremely compliant. So, sometimes if there's specific things that you want to know about, I may not be able to discuss. I won't be able to discuss diseases, disorders, or diagnosis that doesn't meet with compliance standards, but I will find other creative language around that and try the best I can to support you. Please, by all means, go on and ask any questions that you like. And the link for this will be posted in the Facebook page sometime between now and tomorrow morning after I finish recording. We will be following a document today, which is how I actually love to get you guys to follow your own support and health tracking, which works very well with energy, vitality, and body discomfort. So today I'll be covering some of the active sports wellness box, which is a really good starter box when you're actually looking at these concepts in life. I'll be covering some of those, but my main thing is the question I get the most, especially with my journey with actually having a spinal injury, is where do you start? How do I start on my journey? How do I deal with energy, vitality, and body discomfort? So we're going to cover all of that today because I know it can be such a vast and scary thing. But as being someone who's been pretty much on a journey for over a decade for recovering from a spinal injury, it's something that I'm well versed in. So when we're looking at energy, vitality, and body discomfort, it's all the same thing. So a lot of the times what I find is people separate their emotional, energetic, and body discomfort, whereas they're all interconnected. So if you're feeling emotionally heightened, it can actually affect your pain receptors. So if you do actually have discomfort in your body somewhere, you find that will actually magnify. So if you can actually bring down your heightened emotional state first, it actually really quite closely affects your energy and your body systems, functions, and discomfort that goes along with it. So today when I'm actually speaking, I'll talk about all three linked together because you can't have one without the other. You can't work with one without acknowledging the other. You've got to have a very, very strong awareness. So the form that we'll be going through later, which there was a bit.ly link for that you could download, which is on the original post talking about this workshop. And I'll make sure I'll get Tracy to put it in the post of this. I've actually got a very simple sheet that you can work through. And it shows you the basis of what areas you can start working on to actually deal with all three areas of energy, vitality, and body discomfort. So when we talk about the active wellness box, a lot of people go straight into hardcore fitness and exercise, and it's not a box for everyday life, but it actually is, because a lot of the areas that are in there deal with a lot of your energy, vitality, and body discomfort. So it's a very, very good box to have for life. And when I talk about active, a lot of people that I speak to when they're actually recovering from body discomfort or some kind of injury or trauma, you know, for them, being active could be walking around IKEA twice over. I mean, IKEA is a massive place. I get lost in there all the time, but you're still having movement. You're still being active. So it doesn't mean that you have to go to the gym and be hardcore. That's not always possible. I'm still not at what I would consider a weight where I can go and be extremely active at a gym. But where I'm at the moment on my healing journey is that I can actually go to Pilates, and I can do walking, and I can do active stretches, and I can ease myself into those areas. So meet yourself where you're at. Don't always compare yourself to other people and where they are, because depending on your journey and where your body's at, emotionally, energetically, and where the discomfort is or your vitality levels are at, everyone's different. So ease into it. And the chart I'm going to work with you guys later is going to show you exactly how to do that. And you can update it every single month and actually move forward on your journey. But first, let's actually talk about some basics. The active wellness box is really good for that. So we've got one of the ones I absolutely love talking about is either Kabaiba, Copaiba, whichever way you want to pronounce it. You can go either way. This is one of the first ones in the active sports box. I love this oil. It is one of my always go-to. Not only is it really soothing for your muscles and very, very supportive for your body systems. But for your emotional state, it's actually a great calmative for any heightened emotions. So a lot of times, even when we're starting out with new activity or we're moving into new things, to actually expand our activeness in life, we can actually get a little bit of unsettledness, especially if it's something new and we're venturing into something. Or if you are high in sports and you're working in competitiveness, martial arts, or you're in competition, Copaiba would actually be a really good one to use, because it'll actually help calm down. It's actually really good for neural pathways as well and connectedness. So it's great for actually sharpening up concentration levels and getting you ready to move into something where you actually have to be your best and concentrate to be your best. So, but it's also great to use in massage blends to actually soothe and comfort the body and the muscles, as well as being really good for the skin. So this is actually a great one that I love. Putting in the diffuser. It's actually one I use in one of my nighttime blends as well. So remember, for energy and vitality, one of those things is sleep. So go and have a good sleep. And this is one that you can actually use in there. It's a great one for that. Ice Blue Rub, which I don't have on me because I lent it out and I haven't received it back yet. So this one wasn't a boomerang. I'm hoping it will be. I love Ice Blue Rub. I actually use it as my last application. So I always put oils on first, and then I put my Ice Blue Rub on top of that. Somewhere in the archives is a topical layering for discomfort. I'll write that down as a note to find the link for that, and I'll put it in the post for this. So I actually have a layering video. I'm talking about Ice Blue Rub and topical application for that, for discomfort and layering. Layering's actually really, really good. And what I mean by layering is you put one oil on, wait a minute or 2 minutes, and then reapply. And then you go to your next oil. This creates different system reactions. So you can mix them all together in a carrier oil, such as fractionated coconut oil. Olive oil is a really good one for muscles and for warming them and allowing them to actually have greater capabilities and flex, because it warms them. But putting everything in together is really good and useful and quick and simple. But layering actually activates things in different stages. So it can actually be more beneficial if you're looking at working with long-term body discomfort that you've had. So just let me write down the layering video. So in the active box, you've also got lemongrass. Lemongrass is actually one of my favorite oils. Not only is this, I think this is like the oil of just pushing through. It's a high invigorator. So if you're feeling really sluggish, having this in a diffuser, putting it in a massage blend, it is absolutely sensational for making you feel very active and just pushing through any challenges or hardships or resistance you have to being active. But I love how it works with the bodies, and it works with connective tissues, and it works with tendons. It's a very, very supportive oil. It's one that you use less of because it can actually create a bit of skin sensitivity. But it's actually one of my most favorite ones that I do use, particularly actually in shower gels, especially in the morning if I'm feeling very sluggish. Lemongrass is one of my favorite ones. I call it a Kickstarter oil. So if you actually mix this up with some Copaiba, some Ice Blue, you can put some wintergreen and eucalyptus in there from the active box. You've actually got a primer for your muscles for active work, but it's also a great one for discomfort and also for aftercare, so of muscles and strenuous activities. So on my healing journey from recovering from my spinal injury, when I've had to go into Pilates sessions or physio, I'm always very much aware of working with my muscles to prime them up and warm them up for the activities that I'm going into, but also for aftercare as well, to make sure that I've got oxygenation in there, to keep the muscles flexible, to actually work with discomfort as I'm actually going through and healing. So be aware that it's not just for before, it can actually be for aftercare as well. Don't just wait until you have severe discomfort. Work with it before then, anticipate. A lot of us that have worked with any injury over a certain amount of years pretty much know when our pains, our discomforts pop up. So we actually work with your oils and use that because it actually lessens it, and your body actually responds better to that and allows you to have a greater ease in working with that. So you've also got to remember to go into the emotional side of it. So sometimes when we're actually working and we're moving into activity, or we're working with actually overcoming some discomfort in areas, it actually creates like emotional discomfort as well. Stepping out of your box, pushing yourself a little bit further so you can actually go into recovery. That can be a big one. So the oils that are actually in the active sports box work actually targeted with that as well. So not forgetting our awesome ice blue. Over in other places, it's also deep blue. This is ultimately one of my most precious oils. I will never be anywhere without this oil. Even if I'm traveling, I'll always have it in my handbag. This is something that I will pretty much slap on, and I always have carry oil somewhere in my car, in my handbag, in my travel luggage. I think I've got about 12 opened fractionated coconut oils throughout my house. Why do I like doTERRA's fractionated coconut oil? I love the quality of it. I love how it actually goes further. Even though it's in a smaller quantity than other fractionated coconut oils, it does go longer, and it doesn't actually, it has a great usage rate. So it doesn't absorb like quickly. It stays there, and it has a great time allowance. So and that's what I actually refer to as, when you actually put stuff on your skin, it takes a certain amount of time for it actually to penetrate. There's different levels. So when you use different carrier oils, it soaks in at different levels. I like doTERRA's fractionated coconut oil because it's actually got a really good sustained release system in it. So not only is it hydrating for the system, but it also allows the oils to keep actually penetrating through at different levels. And that's because of the quality of the fractionated coconut oil. And that's what I like the most. So with your ice blue itself, I actually find not only is this a warmer, but it's also a cooler. And not only is it a soother for any discomfort we have, but it's also emotional. So this one here, I'll actually use for emotional comfort when I'm actually feeling emotionally pained. And you know that because I don't know if any of you have ever actually felt so distressed, you physically feel like you have a pain in your heart. And even though that's an emotional response, it actually comes through as a physical manifestation. So ice blue would actually be a really good one just to actually rub on your chest. Not only will it actually open up airways and allow you to feel more expanded, it will actually calm you down and make you feel more bright and vibrant. So it actually allows you to pull through when you actually feel like you might be suffocating and feeling like you're withdrawing from the world. So ice blue is not only good for activeness with your body, but it's also allowing you to be active with your emotions and to actually push through any hardships that you have. So ice blue is actually one that I not only use for massages, I'll actually use in the diffuser as well. I find it a really, really good oil to actually pep me up because it deals with emotional wounds and emotional discomfort. So it's a brilliant one for that. Definitely one that everyone should have in their kit for any time of day. Sorry, I'm just making sure that I'm allowing people to come in for Zoom because I'm unable to go live. Okay, moving right along. Okay, wintergreen. I love wintergreen. Wintergreen is it's such a brilliant oil to use with your muscles. It actually allows like great oxygenation, flexibility, but emotionally, I actually find wintergreen's a great stabilizer for me. It's actually very fresh. So when you're feeling that things are stagnant, wintergreen's a great one to actually diffuse. And that's if you can. Wintergreen's always great with a floral. So if you find that wintergreen itself is too strong, shove it with a floral, guys. If you don't like lavender, put it with geranium or lang lang. Believe it or not, the smell just changes so beautifully. These are some of your pickups. So wintergreen is not only great on your body to actually soothe any discomfort, allow you to get ready for action, to push forward, to get ready to be out there in the world. It does the same thing emotionally and energetically. I find wintergreen is a great one for me energetically. I find it actually makes me feel very light and very open. So it's a great one that I like working with. I've worked a lot with wintergreen lately, mainly not so much for body discomfort, but more energetic work. I've actually found wintergreen is one that's really creating a lot of brightness and freshness in my life. And I actually love mixing it with geranium. And I know a lot of people have an aversion to geranium because she's a very, very strong oil, but mixed, with mixed with a leaf oil, it's great. It's actually quite refreshing itself. So have a try of that one. It's really good for emotional support. Motivate. For anyone who hasn't tried Motivate, you've got to try it. It is absolutely brilliant. I love using this as in a shower gel. I find this is another prep day one for me. And believe it or not, guys, with oils, it's not just an oil box I have. I have a whole selection in my bathroom, a whole selection in my kitchen, in my bedroom. The kids have their own oils. I've been working with oils for over 20 years. It's one of my favorite things. And the reason why is because it's quick, simple, and cost effective. A couple of drops of oils is usually like 20 cents worth, but the emotional uplift that you get, the benefit is priceless. So with Motivate, it's another one of those ones that will actually just perk you up. And I just find it brilliant that you can put a couple of drops in a diffuser and within minutes you will feel so much better and your outlook on the world changes. So Motivate for the active sports box is in there to actually get you activated. There are days when you wake up and you just don't want to people. You just don't want to be a part of the world. You really, really just want to hide away. I love Motivate for that reason, because Motivate's like, oh, hey, chickie, it's okay. You might feel you might not want to people today, but let's motivate you a little bit so you can at least, pick up the telephone and say hi to someone. So for those of you, I haven't been that active and around lately because I've myself have been just working through my last bits of trauma and PTSD and that. So I've been cocooning myself. So I can quite honestly speak about not wanting to people that much. But the oils have definitely come across and saved me, and Motivate has definitely been one of them. So she's just a gentle blend that comes along and says, it's okay. We're going to give you a little bit of a push. It's not going to be too nasty. And we're going to allow you to function out in the world and be a bit active, whether it's energetically, whether it gives you more vitality. And believe it or not, Motivate works really, really well with body discomfort, because emotionally, if you're feeling the hardship, you've got to remember it affects all your systems, including your pain receptors, which is your body discomfort. So bring those down and life is a little bit sweeter. So Motivate's a really good one to put in the diffuser by itself. As I said, I love using it in a shower gel. The other one I love is in my car. Like driving at the moment, because this year's been a hard year for a lot of people. I don't know if you've noticed, but road rage is a little bit higher. So having Motivate, I tell you, it's like you could be driving along singing, the hills are alive with the sound of music, and there's people, sticking their fingers up and beeping horns at you because they're just feeling nasty. And sometimes instead of sprinkling drops of oils on them, I'd really love to throw the bottles at them. But that's okay, because then I get Motivate out and I don't feel so sticky with the world anymore. So it's a really, really good one to have. She's not so strong in smell, so she doesn't come along and slap you in the face. She is a gentle uplift, and I just love the peppermint undertones in there. So Motivate's a really good one to have. So you can see already when I'm talking about the active wellness box, that it's much more than just a sports wellness box. It's literally there for energy, vitality, and for all kinds of discomfort, whether it's, physical, emotional, or energetic. Peppermint beadlets. Now, if you guys haven't used peppermint beadlets, get on that train. Oh my goodness. Like, true, I don't know about anybody else, but seasonal ailments recently, like I've got a whole backyard of fruit trees and it's been quite intense. And I love peppermint beadlets, one, because they actually help me with any congestion I have. But also emotionally, it really is an uplifter. It just feels like that whole beautiful little cha-cha surprise in your mouth that really perks you up, especially if you're feeling lackluster and tired. So the peppermint beadlets work really, really well for that. Excuse me. And believe it or not, even my 15-year-old has jumped on the train of the peppermint beadlets. She is just at the moment not enjoying school. Peppermint beadlets have made her world a lot brighter. It's a funny thing, it is. So they're the basics of our active wellness box. If you want to know more information, there are product information pages on the doTERRA site. doTERRA also has a Pinterest site. So when I actually encourage people, because you've got to take accountability for your wellness journey, guys, it's really, really important. You can always ask other people for advice and different ways to work with the oils, but ultimately I find you heal so much better and move so much better on your journey when you actually actively take accountability for where you're at and move forward in that. And sometimes it can be a hard thing. Sometimes we don't want to be accountable, but that's okay. If you find trouble, just have some motivate. That'll help you. So doTERRA have so many resources out there on the Team Alchemy page that this is going to go live onto later. There are great resources out there. There's so many of us out there. So ask, don't be afraid to ask. But if I was you, if you want to research the oils and more about them, stick to the doTERRA sites. I know that myself and Vanessa created an awesome Getting Started email series that has a lot of tips on there and a lot of usage for the products. If you need to know more about that, ask on the Team Alchemy page. I think it actually might be in one of the pinups on the sidebars, I think the announcements or whatever. I know that actually worked out to be a great series that we put together. So have a look at that. There's just a lot out there, but it just comes down to sometimes you have to bite the bullet and learn to actually move forward in your wellness journey. So moving right along, let's have a look at the sheet that I made available for you guys. Now, I actually made this one up. I'm hoping I can actively screen share. Here we go. I hope that worked. Hang on a sec. No, that does not look like it worked. Meeting controls, what's going on? Ah, now it is. Yes, thank you for the thumbs up, guys. Don't know why this is not working properly these days. It's driving me a bit batty. Okay, I see you. Oh, beautiful. Okay, hopefully you had time to print this out. But if you didn't, it doesn't matter. This wellness worksheet is something for you guys to actually start working on. It helps you track the oils that you need to start working with and how to work with them. So just let me get my little highlighted spotlight up. The first thing we look at is the 5 steps of foundations, and hopefully you can see my little red dot that's just twirling around there. So guys, when you're moving forward and you want to have that energy, vitality and body discomfort, it's not as simple as sniffing an oil. You really need to make sure that your systems are functioning in the best way that they possibly can. The biggest one on that is hydration. Yes, do not give me the spiel of you don't like water. I don't like water that much either. I actually have a soda stream. I don't put flavoring in it. I just carbonate the water to make it fizzy. Find it easier if I drink fizzy water, believe it or not. And then don't forget, as long as you're using a glass container, you can always put a drop of oil in there as well. So I love adding a drop of lemon or lime, which is really good for our systems anyway. So you've got the basics in the last study say we go through a litre of water a day with our basic systems, with the functioning of those. So if you don't drink those 4 glasses of water a day, you're already dehydrated. Woohoo, welcome. You can get a tick or a sticker for that one. So first things first, make sure that you actually have ample hydration in your system. Also supplements. I actually can't survive without my supplements. If you have not tried the LLV, then you should be on it. Unless you eat pristine, you grow your own food that's organic and in perfectly balanced soil, you'll be lacking. It's just the way it is, guys. The other one is sleep. Well, this is one of my big ones, is sleep. So my absolute classic, the blend I'm using at the moment to help me with sleep, because I have such an active little bunny rabbit mind, is I literally have bergamot, lavender, cedarwood, vetiver, and copaiba. They are the 5 oils that I'm actually using in my diffuser at the moment for a sleep blend. Depending on the strength of it, I pre-mix mine. So I've got quite a few empty 5 ml bottles. So I actually add a whole heap of those. So what I normally do is in a 5 ml, I do 10 drops of bergamot. I'm just trying to think, 10 drops of bergamot. I go 3 drops of cedarwood. I go 8 drops of vetiver. I also have my 5 drops of copaiba. I'm missing one. And lavender. I have my 5 drops of lavender. I put that all in a 5 ml bottle, give it a shake, and I only add about 2 drops a night. But that is my blend that I'm using at the moment to rest and restore myself so I can have great energy and vitality. When you don't have a good sleep, it actually affects pretty much all your body systems, and it can really have a long-term bad effect on you. So there's also a brain dump you can do. I won't talk about that today. I have to do a brain dump. I have so much that runs through my head every day. I'm a very high thinker. I just need to dump a lot of it out. The other one is movement. So when I talk about movement, it's being active. You don't need to, it doesn't mean going hardcore at the gym. Just do what you can do right now for where you're at. I literally have a routine of Pilates and stretches morning and night. I actually need to do that to actually keep my spine in a good condition after what I've been through with surgery and so forth. And the other one is relaxation. Whatever relaxes you. One of the things that relaxes me the most is watering the lawn. I love watering lawn. Go figure. I listen to some nice music and I water the lawn. So for you, it might be it might be meditation. It might be listening to relaxation and staring at a candlelight. Another one for me is a shower. So different people will find different things relaxing. You know, if you can find 5 minutes out of the day to relax, and I mean, and consciously relax, it creates a lot. So these are your 5 foundations of health. So these are the things that you really need to be looking at before we move on to your oils, because believe it or not, you can start with your oils, but if you don't cover these and work with these, you're still actually fighting an uphill battle. So you must actually look after your foundations first. And this severely affects discomfort. If you do have body discomfort and you're dehydrated, your body will be pulling like water from your muscles to actually support itself. And there's a big thing on there. If you want to know about dehydration, look it up. It'll tell you exactly what it's doing to your brain. It's a very scary thing, so be prepared for it. So how do we use this chart? This is going to actually show you how to work with all your discomfort, and your energy and your vitality, and how to start with it. So first we look at your symptoms or your manifestations. So this includes your emotional, physical, energetic, and you write them all down here underneath your symptoms. All of them. Jot them all down, whether it's, you know, sadness, discomfort, write where the discomfort is, okay? Don't just put discomfort, be specific. If it's actually hip discomfort, put that in there. Believe it or not, it makes a difference. Our body talks to us in different ways. And sometimes when we struggle, like if we have stomach discomfort, it actually could mean that we're actually having trouble digesting what's happening in our life or what we're working through. So you've got to remember it's all tied into one. If you want to know more about that, look up Louise Hay. So you write down all your symptoms. So whether you're actually feeling tired, you're sad, you've got hip discomfort, you've got congestion, write it all down. And then after you've written down all your symptoms, don't forget, we want emotional, physical, and energetic, yeah? Then you want to go for the oils that are suggested for that support. This is where your work comes in. You've got quite a few apps, quite a few books that you can use. You've got your Modern Essentials, your Essential Life. You've got Vanessa and Adam's book, which is a great resource for actually looking up the oils on so many different levels. Everyone should have that one. So have a look. So if you're looking for, you know, hip discomfort, one of the first things that's going to come up is frankincense. Another one will be ice blue. Another one will be aroma touch. So what happens is when you actually start working in here, you can actually go discomfort, not that I can spell much. Spell check's not kicking in. So then you can go into there and then it'll actually start bringing up your oils. So that would be Frankie, and then we'll go Ice Bee, and then we'll go aroma. Right, but then I might go down here and I might actually be feeling, you know, let's see, despondent, right? Or, okay, so if you're looking at that, one of the first ones that will actually come up, another one is Frankie. Copaiba will come up. So we'll put that, I'm just doing abbreviations. You know, one of the other ones that would actually be Motivate. That would be a good one for it. So you're going to start to see, so you can already see that there's 2 oils that have come up that are common, which is frankincense, right? So this is what you're looking at, guys. When you start researching all your oils and you're seeing what's coming up in your chart, what I want you to do is then go and circle them. Circle the common denominators. So already you can see Frankie would be there. So I know that one of my emotional and physical blends is going to have frankincense in it. And trust me, we always work in cycles of similarity. So whether it's energetic, physical, or emotional, there will be a similar pattern there. So the oils that you're going to start working with will follow those patterns. So you will have some frequent oils that will pop up, and that's going to show you what to work with. It'll show you what oils you need to mix up in a massage blend. what oils you need to mix up for a diffuser blend. And that's when it comes down to the bottom here. You can see we've got oils for diffusion, oils for topical, and other products that go in there. So if you don't have, oopsie daisy, I've lost that. There we go. So if there's things like your vitamins and that you're not taking, they would be the notes that you would write down there. So this is how you start. Now, a lot of these oils, when you're looking at discomfort and energy and vitality, the basic ones for the active sports wellness box will be the ones that will come up. Lemongrass is another popular one that comes up. So you'll have your couple of base oils, but excuse me, say if it's for someone who feels disconnected from their heart, you're going to have a lot of the florals come up. Frankincense will definitely be another one in there, but you'll have a lot of oils like lavender, geranium, lang lang, and stuff like that will actually pop up. So then you know, and believe it or not, you can actually use those physically as well. They all have benefiting properties actually for our physical self as well. So this, I'm hoping, is going to allow you guys to know where to start when it comes to energy, vitality, and body discomfort. It's going to show you a way and a path and how to map out what you're going to do. So for those of you that have downloaded, you can see there's a step-by-step here. It's actually not that hard. And I've actually made all of it color-coded. So step 2, it's all the blue. It's your symptoms, energetically, emotionally, physically. Next is the oils, all your yellow. And then it tells you that you need to go through and actually start circling the ones. And in a lot of the recommendations, you'll come across blends, and they might say, hey, use 3 of basil or use 2 of lavender. So you can just put next to it ×2. So you know when you're making up blends, you've already got pre-mixes there and oils that you can start working with. And then you'll go down to step 4, which shows you can start writing down the blends that you're going to start working with. Keep notes. It's really good to keep notes to find out where you are and how to adjust your blends. So speaking from someone like myself who's been on a massive recovery journey from a spinal injury, I have done all this. This is why I created the chart for other people to use, because I've been working with essential oils for over 20 years. So for me, it's second nature. But for someone who's just starting out with the oils, I'm hoping that a guide like this will actually help them navigate on where they should start and how they should actually start. And then they can actually get more vitality and energy and work with whatever discomfort that they have in their body. So let me stop screen sharing so we can wrap this up. I don't seem to have any questions from anyone. And I'm hoping that this has worked well, just for a quick workshop on your energy, vitality, and body discomfort. I'll just give you guys 5 minutes to do any type ups if you have any questions. And if not, when this is posted in the Facebook page, I will keep a note of it. So if anyone has any questions through the Facebook for the next, I'll be hopping on and checking in and answering any questions. And when we actually post this up on the Facebook, hopefully in there will be the bit.ly link for the sheet that I've just shown you, and any other further things. So Mel was saying, really informative, thanks. Oh, great, Mel. I'm so glad. I hope you've got some good tips on there and a way to get started and moving forward. I know it can be like a real big jungle when it comes to being more energetic and vitality and, actually easing off on your body discomfort. It can be like a huge minefield. But hopefully the working sheet that I've just shown you will give you a way to start out. It is actually quite simple for the people that have used it so far. That's the feedback I've had. So guys, move forward with joy. Don't be overwhelmed by what you're feeling and what you think you need to work through. It is actually a simple process if you do step by step. Jenny, yes, I do. Jenny's just put a note in there that she has a spare deep blue rub, and I'm due to catch up with her coffee for Jenny anyway. So I've missed her company. I haven't seen her for a while. Yes, lovely. I would like another ice blue. Don't we love our doTERRA community? When someone is lacking, someone else is there to actually say, I have one. And as we would always say, there is an oil for that. So guys, thank you very much for taking the time. If you have any questions, just put them in the Facebook comments below after this is put in there, and we will get back to you. I'm pretty sure Tracy or a few of us will be monitoring that. So have fun. Be excited about increasing your energetic levels and your vitality and working with your body discomfort. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the future. So take care and be well.